بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم فقهنا في الدين وعلمنا التأويل وافتح علينا فتوح العارفين بك يا رب العالمين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So, shukran to Sister Zaitun. Alhamdulillah, I'm also very glad to be here. Very happy to be part of this gathering of females, alhamdulillah, coming together to celebrate and discuss a topic which is most often neglected in terms of educational awareness and programs, alhamdulillah. So, really an honor for me to be here, alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My topic that I've been tasked to speak about, inshallah, is Zakaah, the Fiqh of Zakaah. And I looked at this topic and I was thinking to myself, what can I really speak about in 15 minutes with regards to the Fiqh of Zakaah? It's not as if I can have Zakaah 101, the breakdown, with regards to the laws in 15 minutes. So I was looking at what angle could I take. So inshallah, without further ado, I looked at Zakaah and the fact that it is the third pillar of Islam. The third pillar of Islam, but the second pillar in terms of practical submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I say that, then I mean, Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam says in the hadith that Islam has been built upon 5 pillars. And the first one is to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger. We know that. The second one is Salah, and the second one is Salah, and the third one is Zakah. But with regards to the practical submission, in terms of that which is seen other than in your heart, which we can't see really, of course, and that is your belief in Allah and Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, it comes actually second in rank. Firstly Islam, and then Zakah. So, subhanAllah, I looked at this and I said to myself, when we talk about Zakah in the community, we're always looking at it from the perspective of the community and how the community gains, etc. But firstly, we're asking ourselves, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribe Zakah? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deem it a need to have Zakah prescribed upon this ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? And it was something which was legislated before, but of course in different forms, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Imran with regards to what the Jews said about Zakah, لَقَدْ سَمِعَ اللَّهُ قَوْلَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ فَقِيرٌ وَنَحْنُ أَغْنِيَاءٌ. The Jews, they said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we heard the Jews saying that Allah is faqir, Allah is the one you need. وَنَحْنُ أَغْنِيَاءٌ. And we, meaning the Jews, they said we are the ones who are free of need. So we're going to look at Zakah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed it upon us as a community, because Allah is in need of it, in the sense that there's some of us who take Zakah, but there's some of us who are in a position, alhamdulillah, where they have financial surplus, so they are the givers of Zakah. Are we going to look at that as proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in need? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a rebuttal for this argument in another verse and says, يا أيها الناس أنتم الفقراء والله هو الغني الحميد. Oh mankind, you are the ones who are in need, meaning all of us. Wallahu, and Allah is the one who is al-Ghaniyu al-Hamid, the one who is deserving of all praise and free of need. And it's interesting because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we are all in need. We are all in need. So that means that every law Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated for us or against us, there is some need for that in our lives. There is some need for that in our society, and there is some need for that in our communities. So that means if each and every person is in need of Zakah, then this doesn't confine the meaning of Zakah in terms of need to the less fortunate only. So there must be some other gem, some other value that we are perhaps sometimes overlooking when we look at the concept of Zakah. If we look at, inshallah, the legislation of Zakah, then it speaks about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses us as believers and speaks to us as a community and a society that a believer should always strive in terms of economic perspective, he should always strive to be able to look after himself, his dependents, but then it doesn't stop there. Because of the principle of Zakaah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is communicating to us another important fact and saying, as a believer, we should always seek to see to ourselves, our dependents, as well as the weak among us in terms of society. So it's not only confining it to those who are in our homes, our mothers, our wives, our kids, but also as a believer, always thinking about our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters who are in need. And it also brings us to a side point that can be discussed inshallah in another topic, but the argument could be, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to do everything, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is powerful over everything, and Allah is the one who is free of need, why is there a need for Allah to put us in need? Why do we need poor people? Why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just make us, one level of financial ability and status, and just eradicate poverty? Because look at the difficulties that poverty comes with, isn't it? So it speaks about the fact that the poor have a place in society, and they have been created in society for a particular reason, and there will always be the poor amongst us because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will it as such. Allah subhanahu, we're not speaking about the final signs of the hour, but just in terms of normal day-to-day, inshallah. There will always be the poor among us. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a specific objective in mind. And these poor have been created so that they may strengthen certain core values, certain moral system, a moral compass in society. And without the poor in our society, we will not be able to realize these objectives which have been set out by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ulama says with regards to zakah, it would be a tragedy if in a Muslim society we firstly, as a point of departure, look at ourselves as the ones giving. Isn't it because normally we sit in a seminar and then there's some motivational talk even about giving zakah and giving more, and so we kind of have to remind and motivate regarding zakah. So this incorrect perception could exist that the only people who's benefiting from zakah is actually the one who's receiving the zakah. So the ulama says that it would be a tragedy, a true travesty in society if we look at ourselves, upon ourselves firstly as the ones giving, and neglect to look at ourselves as possibly the one who is receiving. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at both situations, looks at the fact that there's people who have and there's people who don't have. I feel like I'm lecturing a little bit, but I'm not, inshallah, I'm actually having a discussion. So basically what I'm saying is, before looking at ourselves as the ones giving, we should look at ourselves as the one taking. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at both situations and knows that we take from you when you are at a time of ease, a time of financial ease, and you have surplus, so that we may give to you in a time of difficulty. We take from you when you are able, so that we may give to you when you are unable. So this is actually the adab, the ulama says it's the adab, the etiquette that we should have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when we think of zakah, we don't think, okay, I must give now 2.5%. We should think that tomorrow we can be on the receiving end of that 2.5%, and Allah knows best. Looking at, Allah calls this concept of giving, if we have a particular amount that is zakatable, Allah calls this zakah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about this in the Quran and calls this concept of zakah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it both a tuhur and a nama. What's a tuhur? We'll speak about that a little bit inshallah. Tuhur is a purifier, but it's also a nama, a means of growth. If we look at zakah, we know that zakah has three components, and we kind of tend to look at one component only, that is, like I said, the one that receives. Zakah is a component of the one that's giving, the one that's receiving, as well as the wealth itself. So how can we understand the meaning of zakah being a purifier and as a means of growth? With regards to zakah, for the one who is giving. So the one who is giving, we need to look at the one who is giving and try to internalize and try to rationalize the meaning of how is this applicable to him. How is the meaning of being a purifier as well as the means of growth applicable to him? The one that is giving, we say about him in terms of zakah the following. We say, the one who is giving, it's a purifier for him. How? Because he's accumulating money. Alhamdulillah. So the one who gives obviously has more than what he needs. So the danger of that is that our nafs, that is our lower self, starts loving that wealth. We start loving that wealth so much that we lose sight of the fact that miserliness is not one of the principles of our faith. Stinginess is not a good quality to have. Love of the dunya, that is love of accumulation of wealth, is not a good quality to have. It's not a praiseworthy quality to have. So, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala institutes this meaning of zakah, we are now, in a way, reminded, and I want to say forced, we are reminded that that 2.5% needs to come from that wealth. And so when we give of ourselves, sometimes at the beginning we don't give willingly, but as one becomes used to it, it becomes more and more willing. Like at the beginning, if you run a 5 kilometers, it's difficult, isn't it? But the second time you run, it's a little bit easier, and the third time and the fourth time. So it is if it is a zakah for our lower self, our nafs, training ground for our lower self, and so we give zakah on this wealth. It purifies us, it builds compassion, instills compassion, fosters love for our brothers and sisters in Islam. And so this is zakah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Tawbah, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ بِهَا وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, take of their wealth. Why? So that you can تُطَهِّرُهُمْ, so that you can purify them, وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا, and so that you can make tazkiyah. What is tazkiyah? The purity of self. That you can work towards achieving those means. It also speaks about another concept of tazkiyah or zakah, that is purifying oneself, in the sense that to remind ourselves that yes, our company is doing well and our business is doing well and we're accumulating that money. But in the absence of zakah, a very dangerous understanding on concept may start to reside in our hearts and in our minds. And that is that accumulating wealth is the ultimate objective of this dunya. But it's not. So the zakah is reminding us that there is a higher objective, and that is pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pleasing Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يُرِيدُونَ عَرَضَ الدُّنْيَا وَاللَّهُ يُرِيدُ الْآخِرَةِ. Yani, you want the pleasures and that which is to be gained of this world, but Allah desires for you the akhirah. Okay, that's all good and well, Mualima, speak to Rukayya. But now, where is the growth? I have 100 rand, and when I'm done with zakah, I have 97 rand 50, isn't it? That's the amount. Where is the growth? All I'm seeing is nuqsan. All I'm seeing is reduction in wealth, isn't it? Subhanallah. So, it's interesting to look at this from the perspective of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Juz 3, Surah Baqarah, يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ رِبَا وَيُرْبِ الصَّدَقَاتِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this verse, and it says, يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَا. We know riba. Riba, yani riba is a tajweed, but كتا يعني riba. Okay? يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ رِبَا وَيُرْبِ الصَّدَقَاتِ. And Allah yurbi as-sadaqat. Sadaqah yani, here, meaning zakah or anything that you give for Allah's sake. But it means that Allah erases riba, but Allah increases sadaqah, which is, let's say, zakah in this instance. Allah erases riba, usury, wa yurbi as-sadaqat, and Allah increases and then I get the 97 rand 50 back when I'm done with zakat. It speaks about the fact that certain concepts that we look at and we understand, and you look at the Quran and you look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala applies the understanding and words to that it may seem outwardly contradictory. It may seem outwardly contradictory. What do I mean by that? If I have 100 rand and I use it in some riba transaction, the end of the month I get 130 back. That's the increase, isn't it? And if I take that 100 rand and I give zakah on it, obviously, but don't worry, zakah, 100 rand, not zakatable. Just an example. If we have 100 rand and we give zakah on that, then I come back with 97 rand 50. So I have less. So it seems to be outwardly contradictory. But that speaks about the fact that Allah's estimation of wealth and Allah's judgment of wealth may differ from what we perceive to be wealth, estimation of it, and the judgment of it. Meaning Allah's trying to righten our understanding, rectify our understanding to the manner that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to view wealth. In the sense that in society we always speak about the, so to say, active risk. We don't speak about that passive risk. So just to give an example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in that verse, where it seems to be contradictory, that do we believe that rizq is only manifested by the increase in money, by the increase in wealth? Do we believe that rizq can only manifest, meaning can only show itself by the increase of wealth? Meaning, here's an example, and it will be the end of this point inshallah. Somebody earns 100 rand and somebody earns 150 rand, isn't it? So in terms of our understanding, Allah is saying, you seeing the 100 rand to be less and the 150 rand to be more. Okay? So this is where we see there's a growth in it. But now, on a given month, this person who takes 150 rand, didn't give zakah, for example, that month, his needs for his household comes to 180 rand. And the one who has 100 rand for his household and he gave zakah of his money, Allah makes his needs 70 rand. Do we understand how beautiful that is? That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means when Allah says, وَيُرْبِي, and Allah increases the sadaqah. Meaning rizq is not only the monetary amount, that active rizq we see, there's also the passive rizq, which is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we don't need to wait until the akhirah to see this. We see it every day. People earning 100,000 rand and they can't make ends meet. And somebody coming out with 6,000 rand in a month. Speaks about the rizq and the barakah of that. So that is what Allah means by the increase in that. If you're looking at wealth, how does zakah purify the wealth? I said that there is the one giving, the one receiving, and the wealth itself. The wealth itself, if you have, inshallah, that amount of money, the money is coming and going. There's transactions, business transactions. There's, it goes from your hand to another hand, to the secretary, to the customer, to the one company, to the next. So although you are trying your utmost to only involve yourself in lawful transactions and with people of principle, integrity, it may be that somewhere along the line you were not aware some flaw and blemish fell upon the wealth that you are accumulating and you are generating in your company. So this zakah purifies your entire wealth from that unawareness, that blemish, that flaw that may have, the flaw that may have befallen it. And with it being completely purified and lawful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases it now because of the barakah in it. Okay, so maybe just speaking now about the last point, and that is the one receiving, the one that we always speak about generally, isn't it? The one that's receiving should never feel that he is a burden upon society, and that society and the wealthy is doing him a favor. In fact, if we look at this, the wealthy person is in need of the poor person. Because if there is no poor person, then that wealthy person will increase in his love for the dunya, possibly transgress against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The feelings of compassion, love for your brother, ridding himself of stinginess. Where is the avenue that he's going to rid himself of these lower desires? the avenue is that there are those who are in need in society. So we're looking at the one who, Zakaah. How is Zakaah a purifier for the one who is receiving? Really, subhanAllah. Came upon these words of the Mualima that I read up, preparing this topic. It's so beautiful. And he said, subhanAllah, that the one who is in need, in your community, in your road, he sees you driving a nice BMW. He sees you, your children have nice clothes on. And you always seem to be maybe having a party too, not think anything of having 10, 20 guests and making, whatever pot of food, etc. So he looks at you and you have, and he's the have not. So it's natural because of us being man inside that sometimes some feelings of jealousy, envy, malice, even a bit of hatred or resentment starts fostering in his heart. Now, in his hour of need, and that is Zakaah, and inshallah, speaking about the society where he's used, and inshallah, in a way that benefits society holistically, he sees that when he's in need, your Zakaah comes back to benefit him. So this is the purifier for him. Now he sees, subhanAllah, the blessings that is with that wealthy person actually benefits me. It actually helps me in my difficulty. It helps my kids, my wife in my difficulty. So those feelings starts being diminished, it starts subsiding within him, and this is a purifier for his lower self. This is a purifier for his nafs. Growth. How does it grow? Of course it grows the wealth that it didn't have. But looking at it from a, inshallah, more psychological and spiritual perspective, we look at him and we say, he finds himself in a society where he is of the have-nots. But he finds himself among Muslim brothers and sisters who provide support, financial support for those who don't have it. He feels within himself that he's not facing life's challenges on his own. We're speaking about his spiritual growth, his growth in character, even his iman. He finds himself not facing his challenges alone. He finds that when any financial difficulty strikes, the wealthiest in his community will rush to his aid. Why? Because of the common bond of Islam that unites them. Is this not growth? Growth of iman, growth of brotherhood, growth of compassion, subhanAllah. In the absence of these factors, and not only the last point that you spoke about, but the factor that applicable to the one who gives, the fact is applicable to the one who receives, there will be widespread difficulty, hardship, and you could say the opposite of brotherhood in our community, isn't it? And that's one of the principles of Islam. Verily, the brothers and sisters in Islam, or rather the believers are brothers, meaning they are brothers and sisters to each other in that they see to each other. So, Zakaah is actually one of the founding principles it is based upon, is the concept of brotherhood in Islam. When you receive, when you give a parcel to somebody, alhamdulillah, because that's possibly like what we kind of are accustomed to, or even somebody needs to put the children through school, for example. Give an example of somebody who has a son that they're going to put through, or daughter is going to put through university, and you give your money, for example, to that person for Zakaah. And how's the relief of that mother? I can put my child now through university, or I can put my child now through college, etc. That feeling of relief and that warm, sweet feeling of receiving from a brother in Islam. Tomorrow, that very same child is now in a position to give back. Or that very same parent is in a position to give back. How will they feel? They will actually feel motivated to be the cause of others feeling the exact same feeling of sweetness of belief, sweetness of brotherhood, etc. In conclusion, inshallah, I'm feeling I will talk about my 15 minutes. A believer is someone who does not only see to his own needs, but also to the needs of his dependents in his immediate household. But beyond that, a Muslim always strives to have a little bit more so that he may see to the needs of the weak among them, in terms of the Muslim brothers and sisters. Because he knows, as life takes a turn and life changes, we cannot predict it. That if he is ever in need, then his brothers and sisters in Islam will come to his aid. And this is the definition of life insurance, isn't it, in Islam? A believer has limbs and a heart. So we believe in Islam that our limbs tire. We work hard, we strive. We don't say Allah will provide, yani. We go out and we tire ourselves up, we work ourselves to the bone, so to say, to provide for our families, as many of our breadwinners do. That is our limbs. Our limbs tire. But our hearts is mutawakkil ila Allah, meaning our hearts have tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our hearts have complete trust and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah will see to us. وآخر